Hi, Krissie. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
If you could tell us a little bit about your backstory and what was your life like before you started your journey to improve your health?
Well, actually, I lived up in Washington before I started my weight loss, and I came down to Georgia to help my sister out while her husband was deployed. And she goes to the local YMCA here, and she convinced me to take a spin class, so I went. And then that was history. Wait, I'm sorry, what was the question?
So what was your life like before you started losing weight and started to get healthy?
Before I started losing weight, I was really unmotivated. I would like to sleep a lot and eat.
And so were you always overweight, or did this just come on recently right before you started losing it?
Ever since I was about, I would say 16 is when my weight started coming up, and I'm 24 now. But it really, really, really got like bad when I hit 22.
And how did that impact you emotionally?
I would be depressed, but in denial, because I would wear yoga pants so that they would stretch with me.
And so you gained the weight when you were younger. And so what was your tipping point? When did you say, I have enough?
It was when I came down to Georgia.
And so it was your sister that really got you into it?
And she just told me to take this class, and then it was that instructor, the spin instructor, that really got me into it.
And what did she say to you to really get you motivated and started?
Her story. Her weight loss story. And just the fact that she was once overweight. She wasn't always where she is now. And so I thought, okay, if this lady can do it, I can do it.
Nice, nice. And so tell me a little bit about how you got started. What did you do to start taking the pounds off? And how much did you weigh when you first started?
260. And now I'm 185.
Cool. And so what did you do? What was the first thing you did?
The very, very first thing I did was I started with a spin class that lasts 45 minutes, and I started doing it 3 days a week.
And how did you progress from there?
Well, first, honestly, truth be told, it was around this time last year, I was really bad with my eating. I wouldn't eat because I just wanted that weight off. So that got some of my weight off quickly. And then that spin instructor knocked some sense into my head, and then I followed what she said with eating. And so I added breakfast. For lunch, I would add a meat with vegetables, and then same thing for dinner time. And fruit, because I'm a fruitaholic, so it was hard to like switch the fruit around to add more vegetables to help my weight go down.
So was this something where you just naturally progressed from eating not so healthy to eating healthy, or were there setbacks for you along the way?
Oh, of course there was setbacks. I think everybody has to have a setback at some point. I injured myself last March, and so I couldn't work out for a month. And that was a big setback for me.
And so did any negative consequences come from that setback?
I would walk instead, so that I could at least, if I wasn't going to lose, I wasn't going to gain, so I maintained.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have, is, even if you can't do everything you want to, if you can still do, the maximum you can to avoid falling into a pitfall. Because I know a lot of people, if that happened to them, they just stop exercising altogether. They let it affect them. They might, spiral back into eating unhealthy again, and it all goes downhill from there. So I think that's a good point that you have about, even if you're not going to lose the weight, you can still stay where you are and make sure it doesn't, go downhill.
Yeah.
And so obviously when anybody goes through a weight loss journey, there's going to be some ups and downs. And what really kept you motivated through the hard times?